Imagine walking through the dark streets of London in 1888. The gas lamps barely light the narrow alleys. You hear footsteps behind you. You turn around. Nobody is there. But somewhere in the darkness, a killer is watching. A killer who would become one of the most famous criminals in history. He murdered multiple women, terrified an entire city, and vanished without a trace. To understand Jack the Ripper, you first have to understand Whitechapel, one of the poorest areas in London. Thousands of people lived in overcrowded buildings. Crime was common. Violence was common. Many people struggled to find work. Some slept in lodging houses. Others slept on the streets. At night, the district became even more dangerous. It was the perfect place for a predator to hide. And in the summer of 1888, that predator arrived. On August 31st, 1888, a woman named Mary Ann Nichols was found dead in Whitechapel. Known to friends as Polly, Nichols had struggled for years with poverty and homelessness. Hours before her death, she had been seen walking through the streets. She reportedly told a friend that she had enough money for a bed, but planned to earn a little more before spending the night indoors. She never returned. In the early morning hours, her body was discovered in Bucks Row. Police quickly realized this was no ordinary murder. The injuries suggested a violent and deliberate attack. Just 8 days later, another body was found. This time, the victim was Annie Chapman. Like Nichols, Chapman struggled financially and often relied on temporary lodging. Her body was discovered in the backyard of a building on Hanbury Street. The similarities between the two murders immediately raised concerns. Investigators began to suspect that a single killer was responsible. Fear spread across Whitechapel. Women became afraid to walk alone at night. On September 30th, 1888, the case took an even darker turn. During a single night, 2 women were murdered. The first victim was Elizabeth Stride. Her body was found in Dutfield's yard. Less than an hour later, another victim was discovered. Her name was Catherine Eddowes. The similarities convinced many investigators that the same killer had struck again. The fact that 2 murders occurred within such a short period shocked London. Most historians believe Mary Jane Kelly was Jack the Ripper's final victim. Unlike the others, who were attacked outdoors, Kelly was killed inside her small room at Miller's Court. On November 9th, 1888, her body was discovered, marking what would become the last murder officially linked to the infamous killer. Many investigators consider this to be the most disturbing of all the murders. Because the crime occurred in private, the killer had more time than ever before. The scene shocked even experienced officers. The public wondered if the killer would strike again. But something strange happened. After Mary Jane Kelly's death, the murders stopped. The killer seemed to vanish, and nobody knew why. As fear spread throughout London, police faced enormous pressure. Officers conducted interviews, they followed leads, they searched for witnesses. Every suspect seemed to raise more questions than answers. The case became even more famous because of a series of letters. Some were sent to newspapers. One letter introduced a name that would become legendary: Jack the Ripper. To this day, experts still debate whether the letters were actually written by the killer.